Hi, my name's Monique Rhodes. I am a happiness strategist and I teach people how to be happier. So I want to look at anxiety, and I just want to give you a couple of statistics that I came across so that you can see why anxiety is such a problem and why it's something that we need to address. More than 1 billion people worldwide are currently living with a mental health disorder, and anxiety and depression are the most common. And 1 in 5 US adults, so 19.1% US adults, had an anxiety disorder in the past year. Those statistics are incredible, unbelievable, because anxiety is something that most of us know intimately, whether we name it that or not. So it might be that tightening in your chest before you speak in a meeting, or it might be the restless scan that your mind does at 3 o'clock in the morning, looking at all the ways that your life might fall apart, right? You know that one. Or the 1,000 ways that the what ifs are happening in your mind all during the day. So for a long time, I didn't realize that anxiety was part of my internal landscape. I just thought I was high functioning. I thought, I plan obsessively, I double check everything, I need to be in control. And I thought that was just being responsible. I thought it was just being smart, being prepared. But in truth, it was fear that was running the show. Fear that was well-dressed fear that made me look as though I was being competent. So it's easy to miss the presence of anxiety when it's quiet, and that is how it shapes our world. It shapes how we move through the world, how we limit our happiness, how we say no to love, how we tighten up when we need to soften. So the thing is that anxiety doesn't come to ruin us. It comes to protect us. It's a survival strategy. It's our body and our mind saying, be careful, danger might be coming, brace yourself. So it's an attempt to control what we can't control, which is life itself. So when we let anxiety make our decisions for us, we stop living. We start managing, and that's a very different thing. So I've seen this in myself when I was younger. I don't have this anymore. And that's why I work with so many people over the years. And I've seen it in so many people. People who are warm, people who are wise, people who are loving, but also who are quietly terrified that if they relax for even just a moment, everything's going to fall apart. That if they trust life or trust themselves or trust others, they'll get hurt again. And maybe they will. Life doesn't make us promises. But what I've learned is that the attempt to outrun pain creates more pain. So the attempt to control the uncontrollable is just exhausting. And the way out is not to double down. It's to loosen your grip. Let me tell you a story. Many years ago, I worked with a woman, and she was super accomplished. She was really capable. And she appeared to be someone who had it all together. But she was struggling with panic attacks. They would come out of nowhere. She might be at the grocery store. She might be driving. She might be lying in bed. Suddenly she couldn't breathe. And at first, she tried to outthink them. So she went to doctors, she went to specialists, she changed her diet, she exercised, she did everything right, but the panic kept coming. So eventually we sat down together and I asked her, not how do we fix this, but what's your anxiety trying to tell you? And at first she was confused. But as we kept exploring, she realized something. Her whole life had been trying to be perfect so that she wouldn't be abandoned. Somewhere deep inside, she believed if I get it wrong, people will leave me. I'll be alone. She had abandonment issues. So that fear of disconnection, of loss, of being unworthy, that was the root. And her anxiety was her body's way of trying to keep her safe, trying to make her be so perfect, so in control that she'd never feel that pain again. So we started talking to her anxiety, listening to it, soothing it. So she learned to say to it, I see you, I know you're trying to help, but I don't need to be perfect to be safe. I can stay with myself. And over time, things shifted. Not overnight, but steadily. And the panic loosened, And the fear began to dissolve because she wasn't abandoning herself anymore. She was learning to hold the parts of her that were afraid. So, this to me is the real work of healing anxiety. Not banishing it, but understanding it, meeting it with love instead of resistance, letting it be a doorway back to yourself. So one of the things I talk about often is the circle of influence. It's the idea that there are some things in life we can control and many things in life that we can't. So when we focus all of our energy on the things we can't control, the weather, other people's choices, the future, we become anxious, we become exhausted, we become reactive. But when we shift our attention to what's inside our circle, so that's our thoughts, our actions, our breath, the way we meet this moment, we find power, we find clarity, we find peace. So anxiety wants to drag us out of our circle. It wants us to fix the world so we can finally relax. But the truth is, we relax first and then the world changes. Or maybe it doesn't, but we're no longer at war with it. So what do we do when anxiety rises? We come back to the body. We come back to the breath. We speak gently to ourselves. We notice what's underneath the panic. Is it a fear of failure, rejection, loss? We ask ourselves, what part of me is afraid right now? And what would it mean to offer that part love, not judgment? So we remember that anxiety isn't a sign that something's wrong with us. It's a sign that something in us is asking to be seen, to be held, to be understood. And when we learn to meet our fear with compassion, something incredible happens. We stop being afraid of the fear. We stop running from ourselves, and we start living from a place of deeper trust. So if you're watching this and you're feeling like anxiety is running your life, know this: you're not broken, you're not weak, you're not alone. You're just a human being doing your best to feel safe in a world that often feels uncertain. And the good news is there's another way, one breath at a time, one moment at a time. You can come home to yourself. And in doing that, you find a peace that no amount of control could ever give you. I hope this is helpful. As always, if you like what I'm teaching, please like and subscribe. This will help more people to find this really important work. As always, be kind, take care, go gently in the world.